What is it?
This gen, it seems that people don't actually want to play a game unless it's $60 or unless IGN or GameSpot give it a 9 out of 10. This is one of the reasons why I don't listen to reviews or read them, because many of the reviewers forget the most important part about a game, the gameplay. This is the Titanfall Princess, and today I'm reviewing Past Cure, a game developed by Phantom 8 Studios. First up, we're going to do graphics, okay? Past Cure is a good-looking game for the most part, with some minor issues. For one, on PS4, I had 2 times when the frame rate stuttered for no reason when nothing was going on, which I feel can be fixed with a patch. There was also some clipping and some low-res textures in some of the levels, and some minor technical problems with some of the mirrors throughout the game, where it cast a different reflection than what it was supposed to cast. It wasn't a big deal to me, but some people may definitely notice it, okay? One cutscene at the end was out of sync. Other than these minor problems, Past Cure was a good-looking game, and there were many different backgrounds which set the mood for the game. From your apartment to an office building and even an abandoned, haunted prison. I really like the care Phantom 8 Studios put behind the prison level, where you had to use a flashlight and everything looks dusty and scary looking. Now, of course, Past Cure is an indie game made by a small team of 8 people, and even though they're a small team, I felt they really did a good job with the graphics overall. Just keep in mind, this is a small studio. I'm going to give the graphics a 7.5 out of 10. Okay. Next up, sound and music. This is easy one for the best part of Past Cure. The music is good. The sound effects are loud, especially when you fire a gun. Gunshots sound loud, and when they hit certain objects like glass or metal, they make the appropriate sounds. You also have some sound effects from the melee combat. The voice acting is also really good, and I love how the story was narrated. The main star of the game was Eon's brother, in my opinion, okay? He talked to you from a headset and tells you, what to do, who your enemies are. He tells you who to trust and what not to do. And I like how he was the main voice you followed throughout the campaign. At times, he even said things I disagreed with, or things that made me wonder why he was saying them. Now, on the downside, I felt at times that Eon's voice acting was a little too calm for me. But Eon was also conditioning himself to remain calm during stressful situations. Still, during some parts in the game, when I expected him to use a little more emotion during certain times, it didn't happen. With that said, Eon's voice acting was good and believable. Sound and music, I'm going to score it a 9 out of 10. Okay? And finally, we're going to get to gameplay. Past Cure is an action, sci-fi, horror, and stealth game. If you played games like Second Sight, Max Payne, The Evil Within, and Quantum Break, then you have a good idea how Past Cure's gameplay goes. You control a character named Eon, who is an ex-soldier suffering from memory loss with mental powers that range from time manipulation and astral projection. You can even control someone's mind or hack remote cameras using your mind. But you also have a sanity meter that drains every time you use these powers, and a blue pill that restores your sanity. When you don't have a blue pill, you can wait until your sanity restores, but it doesn't restore completely unless you have that blue pill. There's also a red pill that restores Eon's health. When you don't have a red pill, he will heal up a little bit, but a red pill will restore the health completely. Past Cure is split into 4 different styles of gameplay: stealth, action, puzzles, and using your powers. You'll have to fight guards, overcome supernatural enemies, sneak past guards, and hack cameras or other objects using your astral projection powers. The action levels were fun in Past Cure. I love how you pulled off headshots, watching your enemies' heads explode with blood. That was fun to me. While other times you used stealth and stab enemies and use a takedown to get past them. Then you had supernatural enemies where you had to sneak past. These were the most intense parts of Past Cure. Sneaking past enemies meant using time powers or just running away from them to outmaneuver them. And that's the good. Now, on to what I didn't like about Past Cure. Okay, for one, the supernatural enemies, which look like they're made of rocks, are not explained at all. I had no clue why they were there or what they were. In fact, that's the one problem I really had with Past Cure, was that by the time I finished the game, I had more questions about Eon, his brother, and a few other characters, which by the end of the game just felt like they really didn't matter at all. With all the good voice acting from Eon's brother and having him guide you throughout the game, comes down to a screeching halt to me, and I found myself wanting to know more. Another thing I didn't like was Past Cure only had 4 different guns: a regular handgun, a machine gun, a wood hawk, which is like a desert eagle, and finally a shotgun. And you only get to use the shotgun once throughout the entire campaign. It was easily my favorite weapon out of all of them. I was also hoping to be able to use an assault rifle, but there is no assault rifle in the game. I also had one trophy that will not pop up for me, which you're supposed to get when you kill 25 supernatural enemies. I never got this silver trophy. Fanimate Studios, please patch the trophies for PS4. Thank you. Anyway, now there's also one part of the game when you get to use mind control, but it only happens one time throughout the campaign. I wish we could have used this power freely, and I ended up using 2 powers throughout the entire game. It's little things like that which I felt would have made the experience that much better, that Phantom 8 failed to capitalize on. Okay? With that said, Past Cure's psychological action game with a lot of mystery and a great story. It had good combat. I loved the music and the voice acting. I felt that this was a solid effort by Phantom 8 Studios, and I want to see more. I'd love to see more. Okay? And the last thing I want to say is, don't let negative critics or people who judge games based on price stop you from making great games or a sequel to Past Cure. I feel that Past Cure is a really interesting title with some technical issues that can be patched, and at a price of $25, it's a steal. I highly recommend trying this game, and Phantom 8, keep up the good work. Overall score, 8 out of 10. This is the Titanfall Princess. I'm out.